Lately, I've been talking a lot about the ways we fall apart, the habits we pick up, the patterns we repeat, the things we do to cope that slowly turn into chains. Seven deadly sins weren't about labeling people as bad necessarily, they were about being honest about what quietly pulls us away from ourselves. But here's the thing nobody really tells you. Knowing what's wrong doesn't automatically teach you what is right. A lot of us can name our flaws. We know what we struggle with. We know what hurts. What we don't always know is what actually heals us. And that's what this video is about. The 7 heavenly virtues. There aren't rules to live by or boxes to check. They aren't about being perfect or morally superior. They're more like anchors. Steady things you can reach for when life gets loud, confusing, or heavy. These virtues don't fix your life overnight. They don't erase the pain or make you immune to failure. They just help you move a little closer to who you're truly meant to be. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I needed it myself. After talking so much about the sins, pride, lust, envy, wrath, to name a few, I realized I didn't just want awareness, I wanted direction. I wanted something constructive, something hopeful. So this isn't about forcing religion onto anybody. It's just more about values, about character, about becoming someone that you can respect when no one else is watching. If the 7 deadly sins showed us how we drift, the 7 heavenly virtues show us how we return. Alright, so what are the 7 heavenly virtues? There's humility, kindness, patience, charity, temperance, chastity, and diligence. So let's start with humility. Humility isn't thinking that you are worthless. It's just not putting yourself above everyone else. It's being able to say that I don't know everything. It's being able to admit that you were wrong without feeling like you lost. For me, humility shows up when I stop defending my mistakes and I start learning from them. When I realize that being right was costing me relationships, peace, and growth. Humility is very quiet. It listens more than it speaks, and it's the doorway to real change because nothing grows where pride refuses to move. Second, kindness. Kindness isn't about being necessarily nice all the time. I think a lot of people think that's what it is, but I think it's more about choosing compassion when you don't have to. Kindness is holding your tongue when you could hurt somebody back. It's checking on people who don't necessarily benefit you. It's saying gentle in a world that rewards hardness. And I've learned that kindness doesn't mean that you are weak. It means that you're in control. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can be cold. It takes strength to stay soft. And the crazy part is kindness changes you just as much as it changes others. Third, patience. Patience might be the hardest virtue in the world, especially since the world that wants everything instantly. Patience is trusting timing that you don't fully understand, healing without rushing, becoming without forcing. I've spent a lot of time feeling like I was behind, like everyone else was moving forward while I was stuck. But patience taught me something very important. You're on your own timeline. Growth that lasts doesn't sprint. It'll walk slowly and honestly. Then there's charity. Charity isn't necessarily just about money. It's about what you give when no one's keeping score. Your time, your attention, your presence. Sometimes charity looks like listening instead of fixing, like showing up instead of saying the right thing. I've learned that people don't always need solutions. They just need to feel seen. And when you give without expecting anything back, something shifts inside of you. You stop living transactionally. You start living meaningfully. And then there's temperance. Temperance is knowing when enough is enough. Not because you can't, but because you don't need to. In a world built on excess, more content, more pleasure, more stimulation, temperance is quiet rebellion. It's closing the app, turning down the drink, walking away when you feel yourself numbing instead of living. Temperance gives you control. It teaches you self-respect and how to be resilient. And then there's chastity. Chastity isn't necessarily just purity, culture, or shame. It's about respect. Respecting yourself enough not to use people to fill emptiness. Respecting others as humans and not escapes. Choosing connection over consumption. And I've learned that desire without respect leaves you empty. But desire guided by dignity builds something real. Chastity is choosing depth in a shallow world. And then finally, diligence. Diligence isn't just motivation. It's showing up when the motivation dies. It's consistency when nobody else is watching. The small effort every single day. I've learned that discipline shouldn't be considered a punishment. It's self-love in action is the best way I can put it into words. It's doing today what your future self will thank you for. You don't need massive change. You need steady commitment. And that's how lives are rebuilt. Personal reflection. Being honest with yourself and just making time for you. We'll backtrack a little bit. After talking about the 7 deadly sins, I realized that I didn't just need awareness, I needed direction. These virtues didn't make me perfect, but they definitely helped me stay steady. They gave me something to reach for on the days I felt lost. Something solid when everything else felt like it was caving in. And if the sins show us how we fall, the virtues show us how we stand back up. You don't have to have mastered it all or have all of these perfect. Maybe even just starting with one. Growth doesn't happen all at once. It's not going to just magically happen overnight. It'll happen choice by choice, slowly each day, over time. And every single one of these show up in my life only after I mess up first. Humility came after pride, cost me people. Patience came after anger pushed me away from things that I cared about. Temperance showed up when I realized that I was using distractions to avoid sitting with myself and my thoughts. None of these came naturally to me, but I learned the hard way through loss and mistakes and moments where I had to admit to myself that I wasn't living the way I wanted to. And that's why I'd like to reiterate, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. These virtues didn't just suddenly make life easy. They just gave me something solid to stand on when everything else felt unstable. And I'm still trying my best, still working at it, still learning them every single day. I think that's all I got for a brief overview. Obviously, I'll make individual videos like I did in the 7 Deadly Sins series. kind of going more in depth explaining all of them, but before I ended the video, I just wanted to say thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who watched, listened, commented, and actually sat with these ideas instead of just scrolling past them. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time and your thoughts and sometimes your own stories. And that means so much more to me than I can put into words. This whole journey from the sins to the virtues wouldn't have felt real without you. You helped shape it. You helped me grow through it. And you reminded me why having these conversations in the first place even matter. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to grow and learn with me. And thank you for choosing to reflect instead of run from all the evils. Because as we know, it's so much easier to just run and hide and put it under a rug, you know? And if there's one thing that I hope you take with you, it is this. Growth isn't about never failing again. It's about choosing every single day to stand back up with a little more honesty, a little more compassion, and a little more courage than you had before. Even when it's uncomfortable or lonely, to get back up with a little more honesty about who you are, a little more compassion for where you've been, a little more courage to keep becoming the person you know you're meant to be. Thank you all again. Y'all mean the world to me. As always, stay Rohly.